Hey everyone, this is Kari Sammons coming to you live from my office here in New Albany, suburb of Columbus, Ohio. And I'm going to do a behind the scenes deep dive with the LifeLong Vitality Pack. So I'm going to wait for about 5 seconds or so as people are hopping on here. With this special app that I'm using, I really can't see the comments. I'm still new to this special app that I'm using to be able to go Facebook Live and also share my screen. So if anybody's on here that happens to have my cell phone, you can feel free to text me if you, just to make sure it's all okay. I can see that people are hopping on. Okay, that's good. Okay. I'm playing around with my screen share. Okay, let's see if we can do that. All right. I think I can see the view that you all are seeing. And yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for joining me at noon on a Wednesday. I knew this was probably tricky time for some of you and also really convenient for others of you. Maybe you can take your lunch break and join us. Or, of course, Facebook Lives always get recorded, and I'll post it here so you can catch up later. But I'm really excited to just share on what is actually doTERRA's #1 best-selling product, and the product that has made a huge impact on my life and my husband's life and really for our family. It's been really impacting, and it's the LifeLong Vitality Pack. And I know there are a lot of you out there that are taking these supplements regularly, and there's others of you that feel like maybe you should, but you'd rather learn a little bit more about them first. And there's others of you that have been taking them regularly and having really great results, but maybe you don't know a lot of the behind the scenes, kind of what I would call the deeper dive. And so that is what we are going to do. Okay, thank you. My friend Virginia just texted me and said that it's coming across all clear, so thank you for that. Okay, so let's click through here, and what we really talk. I always make sure whenever I'm teaching a class that I do at least a quick mention of the LifeLong Vitality Pack and share a little bit of my personal story with it, because I really feel like as we talk about essential oils and we talk about wellness, truly if we're talking about the big picture of wellness, it would be a sin almost to not talk about nutrition and what we're putting in our bodies, because a lot of the reasons that people come to doTERRA and gravitate is maybe they had a really cool experience with peppermint helping to take away a headache, or for us it was Connor having digestive issues and we used Digest Zen and it really helped, and it helped me too for my digestive issues. But then the reason why a lot of us stick around is because we realize, oh my gosh, like we're trying to live a lifestyle that is more conscientious, being thoughtful about what we're putting in our bodies, on our bodies. And for a lot of people I teach in my classes that if you're getting chronic digestive issues or chronic headaches or have pain flaring up all over your body regularly, sure, there's oils that can definitely help with that. But if you're not looking at the root cause of what is triggering that, and you're not really paying attention to what you're eating and your nutrition, then you're really doing a huge disservice to the whole thing, right? And so that's what we're here to talk about today. And I know a lot of people that I meet, and this might have been you, this may be you right now, that you say, I'm eating a healthy diet, so I really don't think I need supplements. Well, that was what my husband was saying. It's been almost 9 years that we've been using doTERRA. It's been about 8.5, I would say, just over 8.5 years that we've been using the supplements. And I was really drawn to the supplements when I saw them in the product guide. I was curious about them. I went to my mom and I just really picked her brain. She's a health nut. She was already taking really good quality supplements that she had been recommended by her chiropractor. And so she gave the supplements that doTERRA has, like she really did a deep dive and looked at the ingredients, and she said, these look amazing. These look better than what I'm taking currently. There's less amounts of things that I have to take, and it's actually more affordable. And so that made me decide, like, yeah, let's give it a try. And my husband, though, he said, what is very natural and normal, he said, shouldn't we just be getting everything that all of our nutrients that we need from the food we eat? And I'm like, well, yes, absolutely. In a perfect world, especially if our food was as nutrient dense as it should be. But here's the truth. The New York Times has done studies on this, and there's lots of studies out there, lots of really great documentaries that show that the nutrition, that our food is not nearly as nutrient dense as it once was. It said, 50 to 100 years ago, an orange had way more nutritional value than it does today. And a lot of that's because of the soil being stripped away of its phytonutrients. Some of the different growing methods were not cycling through, the farming techniques are basically like stripping the soil. And so our body is not getting, even if we ate a perfect diet, I said, even if I hired a personal chef to be helping me make sure I had the best food, the best quality, organic, local, we still wouldn't be getting as much nutrition as we need. And then, this lack of vitamins and mineral deficiency, it shows up in different signs in our bodies. A lot of people notice that they have lack of energy. They're fatigued, their mood isn't great, they are irritable. That was actually my personal experience, and that's one of the reasons why I first gravitated towards the doTERRA supplements to try, because I'd been taking a 1-a-day prenatal for years on end. I just had my second child and was nursing him, so I was doing all the things that the midwives, I was actually getting a really good quality organic prenatal, but it was still like a 1-a-day. And I was walking around feeling like a shell of myself. I was exhausted. Part of that was because I had 2 little ones, a 2-year-old and a newborn. I hadn't been getting much sleep. Finally, I was getting some sleep because of the oils, changed our life radically, and Connor started sleeping. There were a lot of reasons why I was like, oh yeah, it's normal. Like, I'm going through a lot of hormone stuff, but I still just thought, if there's something that I can take that would make me feel like I have my energy back and I have more vitality, like, well, I want to try it at least, right? Even though I knew I was going through hormone stuff and kind of re-regulating my body. And that was the thing I noticed for me personally right away when I started taking, is that I got, what my husband said at the end of the month, he said, I feel like I got my wife back because my energy was back, my mood was better, less irritability, I'm sure. Some people just notice, also, I'm talking now about deficiency. People notice they're immune, they get sick more often, even taking a 1-a-day vitamin, people's, having pain, fragile, brittle hair, not great healthy nails, so what I'm trying to get at is that everybody does need a multivitamin, even if you're eating really great. Because the truth of the matter is, sometimes we aren't eating that great too. This picture is hilarious, but this is what a lot of people's diet looks like on occasion, even one time a day. Maybe they're eating a meal that I would call trash. And we're not getting, our bodies are kind of slowly but surely starving itself from all those nutrients that we need. So let's say we're like, all right, I'm on board with that, and I know that my body needs supplements or vitamins. Well, then, this was my experience before, too. I'd walk into the local health food store, stare at the shelves of things, walk up and down, and kind of get that glazed over look in my eyes, like, how in the world am I supposed to decide? And I'm reading all the labels, and it's so hard to decipher, like, what is just a marketing strategy and what's actually real, good quality stuff. And what my mom's chiropractor had shared with her is that in the stores, if you're just going and shopping off the rack, usually you're not getting anything with whole food ingredients, and that's really what our body needs in order, because it's not how much you're putting in, it's actually how much your body's absorbing, and for your body to absorb it and use it, it needs to be whole food and bioavailable. Those are 2 terms that I learned right off the bat with our LifeLong Vitality Pack, that these are whole food ingredients, bioavailable, your body recognizes the ingredients, knows what to do with it, puts it to use right away. And it's interesting because once I started taking these, I noticed, one of the things I noticed right off the bat is that I didn't have that fluorescent yellow urine anymore. Before with my with my 1-a-day vitamins, I felt like I don't even know how much of this I'm actually absorbing. It seems like I'm flushing it all right down the toilet. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. And with this, I was actually even, with the LifeLong Vitality Pack, I was taking more capsules. You have to take actually more than 1 a day of these, because remember, this is whole food. So in order to get the amount of whole foods you need, it takes up more space in the capsules. Thankfully, they're nice, small, easy to swallow capsules. All of my children have no problem. Even my little 6-year-old has been taking these without problem swallowing the capsules. So I love that even the little side effects before like that, I'm like, just assure me that I am absorbing this into my body and I'm using it up. So what is it that makes the LifeLong Vitality so unique? Well, in 5 simple little bullet points, number 1, people see results from it. And I have some more stories to tell about that. Number 2, we just talked about, it's made from whole food ingredients, right? 3, these supplements contain essential oils. And for me, when I found out that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That is really one of the things that's got to set these apart, because we know the doTERRA essential oils are safe to, many of them, most of them are safe to take internally. And so I just loved this little bullet point. I'm going to underline this for a second, because I'll tell you what, like the more and more and more that I learn about the oils and how beautiful they are and how many great things they provide for our body, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get even more faithful to remember to take things like frankincense and thyme. And and the truth of it is, a lot of times we think of the oils when we have something bothering us, like, oh, my throat's sore, or I'm just feeling a little off today, or I need more energy. That's when we think to go to our oil cabinet, right? But one of the reasons we're all on this journey is because we're wanting to be proactive and do preventative medicine. And so taking the oils regularly before we feel like we need them, right? So I love that the essential oils, there's 9 of them that are in these supplements, so that I'm getting a good measured, metered dose of them every day. Also, these LifeLong Vitality, number 4 on here, it says they're affordable. That's one of the things that my mom was so quick to point out. She said she was taking this really great supplementation that cost her a lot, and then she was actually having to supplement her supplements, going to Whole Foods and buying other things like CoQ10, resveratrol, polyphenol, some of these different things. And she said, I love that the doTERRA LifeLong Vitality Pack has everything, and it's so affordable. For me, this was a little bit more than my 1 a day, but not so much. I mean, it was probably just maybe $10 or $20 more. And then when I considered some of the other things I was adding, like omegas and whatever, I'm like, it probably all balanced out. And number 5 on here, it says that there's a 30-day guarantee. And that's almost unheard of. I've never actually heard of another supplement company that, especially if you're going to Whole Foods or going somewhere at the health food store, but they say, take the whole pack. If you don't like them, we'll give them your money back, guaranteed. So what is it that people are saying they're having noticeable results? Well, here's some of the quotes that we hear. I have more energy. That was me, for sure. Less pain. That was my husband's really noticeable thing. I get sick less often. I'm sleeping better. I'm less anxious. I'm more focused. My doctor wants to know what I'm doing. That actually happened with my dad. Once my mom and I took the supplements for a month, and Gary noticed such a notable difference in me that he said, I want to take whatever it is you're taking. And my dad just took whatever it is my mom gave him, right? So both my husband, Gary, and my dad, Mark Voss, started the 2nd month, and they both deal with a lot of joint pain and hip pain, and Gary has an old back injury that flares up, and he was always having to wear those heated thermarest pads underneath his work shirts as an attorney going to work. And he noticed by the end of the month, he's like, oh my gosh, my body feels good, digestive improvement, sleeping better. And my dad's doctor actually asked him, Mark, what is it that you're doing? Because your blood counts are looking so much better. Looking at things like cholesterol and triglycerides made a huge improvement. And that was the only factor that changed for my dad. And then the essential oils that I talked about that are in here, I just wanted to show you all of them. Here's the 9 essential oils. And if you were to categorize these as to why these oils, I would say it's primarily, these are oils that are really great for mood, and they're also great for immune boosting and inflammation reducing. Clove, for example, is one of those that I don't take very often. Sometimes I diffuse it, but it's a really strong oil, but it is in On Guard. But clove oil is the highest known antioxidant. It's a super high antioxidant. We're going to talk about antioxidants and how important they are for our system. And frankincense, we know how good that is. Thyme, I mean, you look at all these different ones. I'm looking at caraway and ginger and peppermint. Those are also really good for digestive health. So anyhow, you're getting all these wonderful essential oils. And then the 30-day money-back guarantee. So, and it's funny, I have a lot of funny stories about this. Well, not a lot, because honestly, most people, when they start taking them, they notice, some notice significant feeling different. Some people, it's more subtle, but rarely do people say, I'm going to take doTERRA up on that guarantee. But the few who have, I've heard stories back that they said, I really didn't notice how much I was experiencing them until I stopped taking them. And then I realized, oh, that's why I was feeling so good last month. I need to start that back up again. That actually happened with my father-in-law. He didn't do the money-back guarantee, but we gave him a pack of the supplements as a gift and said, just try them out. If you don't like them, you never have to take them again. If you love them, we'll keep supplying this because this is so important. We think it's so important for you. And it wasn't until 15 days after he'd run out of his first pack, he's like, called up my husband, I need my fix. Where's my next pack of supplements? I didn't realize how good they were really making me feel. Okay, so typically in my normal classes, that's about all that I share on the supplements. But because of this special live broadcast today, I just wanted to do a deeper dive and give you all more behind the scenes so that you can understand what is in these ingredients. Why is it that these are helping people feel more vitality or have stronger and healthier hair and nails? And why are blood counts improving? Why are people having less pain? Okay, so the first thing let's talk about are free radicals. Some of you have heard about free radicals, but maybe you don't know how to describe them. They would be described as unstable molecules in our bodies with one or more unpaired electrons. I know this is getting very sciencey on you, okay? But when that happens, it's called oxidation in our body. Now, there are free radicals that we can get in our body from extrinsic purposes, like, for example, if we have radiation, different pollution, different toxins that we're exposed to. We know that smoking cigarettes is bad for you, but I thought it was really interesting to quantify it in this way, that just one inhalation on a cigarette is equal to 1 quadrillion free radicals that come into your body, okay? Now, we can also get free radicals produced in our body from intrinsic ways, by stress. Like if we have elevated stress levels, if we're sick, cellular stress, those different things from depending on what we're eating, what we're breathing in, if we are or are not exercising, that can produce and create free radicals in our body. And then what happens to this, it's called oxidative stress, okay? And this is the oxidative stress cycle. And what that means is if you have more free radicals in your body than what your body is able to neutralize on its own, okay? So these free radicals push our body into what's called oxidative stress, and then that creates this cycle of, that's what actually creates, is kind of at the foundation of aging and disease and all of that, okay? So now let's talk about antioxidants. Antioxidants are stable molecules. Remember that free radicals were the unstable molecules that didn't have paired electrons. Antioxidants are stable with one or more extra electrons to share. And Nicole Stevens, who's one of the scientists on staff with doTERRA, explained this as the antioxidants, think of them as philanthropists, that they have extra to share and they want to help do good to the body, okay? So here's a cool little image to help you say. So there's healthy atoms over on the one side, and then free radicals in the middle. You see it's missing an electron. It doesn't have a paired electron, so it's trying to steal away from the healthy atom to neutralize it. Well, guess what? The antioxidants have extra to share with the free radicals to help neutralize those free radicals to make them healthy and help them to, neutralize, okay? So how do we get these antioxidants? What are the ways that we can get these antioxidants to help our body stay in a healthy state and to help prevent this oxidative stress? So the exogenous, we can get antioxidants from outside the body and inside the body. So from food is how we can get antioxidants, and then some are also produced and made in our body. But because our bodies are under more stress and more toxic load than ever before, that's why it's really important to be giving our body more antioxidants from food and from our supplements, okay? So let's talk about what antioxidant protection is in our LifeLong Vitality Pack. We have the polyphenol blend, the carotenoid blend, alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, essential oils, antioxidant vitamins, and antioxidant minerals. So these are all the different categories of things with lots of other cool ingredients that are helping to give us antioxidant protection. So let's look closer. Let's take a magnifying glass and look at the alpha CRS. And the alpha CRS has kind of two components, the cellular longevity component in those ingredients, and then the cellular energy component. So first we're going to look at the cellular longevity. So look at all these different ingredients. These are the things that contain polyphenols: boswellia, biacillin, milk thistle, resveratrol, green leaf tea. This is non-caffeinated. Pomegranate, pineapple, turmeric, grapeseed, sesame seed, pine bark. If you were to do a deep dive on all of these, you would find all of the many beautiful components why they're in there. But let's look closely at just a few of these. So the milk thistle seed extract, the silymarin polyphenol, is a really powerful free radical scavenger. This is what we're talking about. Think about these antioxidants that are scoping around your body trying to find the free radicals, the ones that are trying to steal from the healthy ones, and they're trying to neutralize these. The silymarin and milk thistle are really good at scavenging and finding these free radicals and neutralizing them. Supports glutathione levels in our liver, and it supports superoxide dismutase enzyme. And I wrote a little note about this. That is the other, these are things that are basically like you see these superoxides. It's supporting these things and helping to neutralize and help support and grow healthy liver cells. A lot of people have heard about how milk thistle is really good for your liver. So that's kind of more about what that is. And then I also just wanted to highlight the boswellia in this. Boswellia might sound familiar to all of you. It comes from the frankincense plant, but it's not the essential oil. This is actually a different part of the plant. And this helps to mediate inflammatory response, because another one of the big bad guys besides free radicals we know is inflammation in our body. So we want things in there that are helping to neutralize and calm down the inflammation. And boswellia is really wonderful for that. So many cool clinical studies about how it's helpful for joint health and muscle health, okay? So now let's talk about the cellular energy components in the alpha CRS. So how is it that we get energy? Energy is actually created in the mitochondria of our cells. That's what's also often called like the powerhouse of our cells, the mitochondria. So what's really cool is that there are ingredients in here that help your body, your mitochondria, produce more natural energy. So those ingredients are quercetin, CoQ10, ginkgo biloba, alpha-lipoic acid, alpha-L-carnitine. And I know these things are a mouthful. I had never really heard about these things before I started researching and taking the LifeLong Vitality Pack. And I was like, okay, I want to know, what is it that's helping me? I feel so good. Like, I get to the end of the day. This is the thing that I noticed in the beginning. I'm a night owl by nature. And for years on end, though, I just felt like I was so exhausted all the time that I couldn't walk past the couch without like longing to just lay on it and take a nap, you know, but of course there wasn't time for that. And once I started taking these supplements, I just noticed I would get to the end of the day and I would feel good. I'm like, I feel good. In fact, I would get my husband to bed, my kids to bed, and like get my stuff done, you know? And that's just the way God made me. But I was like, I could stay up late, I would sleep well, I would wake up with energy the next day, and I would not, but I never had that caffeine buzz or high kind of feeling. It was just I just naturally felt good. And that's what's so cool that so many people notice, is that in this energy blend, there's no sugars, there's no stimulants. We don't want to be taking things that are helping stimulate us. And wouldn't it be great? Like, I don't ever take caffeine. I don't drink anything with caffeine. I don't have, I like coffee, but I always get decaf. And it's just so nice that this supplements give me what I need to feel energized and sustained throughout the day. It's beautiful. And it's just empowering to know that I'm not walking around faking it all day long like I felt like I was for years, because I was just worn out. I was legit exhausted, okay? And so also in the Alpha CRS and in the VMZ is this tummy tamer blend, and that has peppermint leaf, ginger root, caraway seed extract, and it's all in there to help prevent any stomach upset, which isn't that great? That was another thing I noticed when I used to take those one a day, is that I would have to take them right before bed, because otherwise I just noticed that I felt sick. I would have these yucky burps, and then I was peeing fluorescent. I'm like, what good is this really doing me? I never felt great taking them, but I knew that I was supposed to be taking them. Okay, so the tummy tamer helps that for people even with the most sensitive stomachs, it doesn't bother them. My kids, like Madeline is 11, she takes 2 of each, and she loves them. She doesn't complain. My other 2 kids take 1 of each, and again, like none of the side effects that I used to have from vitamins and supplements. My kids, who are more hypersensitive to that stuff, never complain about it. So I think that's a cool testimonial to listen to. Okay, so I mentioned this already, that one of the other big bad guys in our body that we really need to pay attention to is inflammation. And Time magazine, this even says, it says the surprising link between inflammation and all these different diseases. What can we do to fight it? And how can we prevent ending up on that hospital bed, right? And it says right there, it says it's all about prevention. And that's exactly why Gary and I started this journey. When we started doTERRA, we both, kind of assessed ourselves, and we're like, well, we're both pretty healthy. We don't get sick chronically, but we knew we both had a lot of disease on both sides of the family tree. And we're like, we want to be doing the things now to prevent us from being sitting ducks just waiting for one of these things to strike us, right? And so this really spoke to both of us, and it's kind of how we started our journey, and why we said it's important to take the supplements before we're trying to fight off some disease, right? So let's talk about the things that create inflammation in our bodies and how we can help suppress that and just keep our bodies more in balance. So essential fatty acids, we really need these EFAs, and omega-6s are good for our body, but the problem is our diet is really, really high in omega-6s. Omega-6s are pro-inflammatory, and omega-3s, another essential fatty acid, is anti-inflammatory. And so our diet should be at a 1-to-1 ratio with omega-6s and omega-3s. But like I said, unfortunately, our diets today tend to err way on the side of too many omega-6s. And so it's more of like a 15-to-1, which means our bodies are going to be in chronic inflammation. And some of you know what I'm talking about, and you can raise your hand and say, yeah, that's true of me, or a lot of people I know that are probably dealing with that. And so the Z omega, this is the Greek alphabet, so you pronounce it Z omega instead of XE omega. But there's really amazing, potent anti-inflammatory ingredients in here, okay? So this is a list of some of the omega. So let's specifically talk about the omega-3s. There's beautiful omega-3s, and some of them come from marine omega-3s and some are from plant. And then of course, then they're all natural. They're in the veggie soft gel. And the omega-3s that come from marines, they are calamari oil. It's very high quality, comes from Peru and Norway. It's certified, sustainable, and they're making sure that they picked calamari because it's really low on the food chain, and so it doesn't have high levels of mercury and heavy metals in there. And so it's a really clean quality and abundant, and we love it. I love the way that they are in this capsule because there's the essential oils in here too. I never taste fish oil. That was one of the things I detested about taking fish oil before, and I even like fish, but I hated the fishy burps. I never get that with these. If anything at all, if I ever have a burp, it tastes like peppermint. It tastes like one of those nice essential oils, okay? So you can, and I don't have to keep them in my freezer. Some of those things I used to always have to do with fish oil. These are really shelf stable, and yeah, easy. My kids have never complained once about taking these, okay? So some of the other things with the marine and plant, this is now looking at some of the plant sources of the omegas in here, okay? And I just want to let you know, for those of you out there that don't eat fish, don't like fish, or you're vegan, there's an option, there's a vegan option of the LifeLong Vitality Pack too. So just in case you didn't know, you can get that, and it's only about $5 more than the regular pack. Okay, so now talking about, again, EFAs, essential fatty acids, and our brain and the impact. 80% of our brain and 70% of the myelin sheath that protects the brain are fatty acids. And so we need, again, like we really, really need as many of these EFAs in high quality, good quantity also to keep our brains healthy. Okay, so now let's talk more about some different antioxidants that are in this Z-omega, the carotenoid antioxidants. The alpha and beta carotene, it's a natural vitamin A, lutein and lycopene and astaxanthin, okay? And I've made some notes about some of these, and I just want to tell you, because I haven't harped on this too much yet, but I just, again, back to that whole food ingredients, science has just shown that when you're taking supplementation that has real food from real sources rather than the synthetics, your body absorbs it and knows how to do and has so much better results. There's so many reports that just say with all of these supplements that they're marketing, that our majority of them have synthetic versions of vitamin A and vitamin E and vitamin D and things like that. So your body is trying to decode them, try and figure out, what is this? How am I supposed to use it? And then it's like you're going to get weird side effects, or your body's going to flush some of it out because it doesn't even recognize what to do with it, okay? So let's talk about astaxanthin for a minute, because I think this is a fascinating ingredient, and this is actually what makes the Z-omega, gives it that red color. Astaxanthin is a microalgae. doTERRA's astaxanthin is grown in Israel, and once they put it in these tubes and expose it to the sun, and once it's been exposed to the sun for long enough, it blooms into this beautiful red color. You can see the red astaxanthin over there. It actually has natural UV protection. So for those of us that are taking the good dosage of the Z-omegas, it's actually helping protect our body from UV exposure. I thought that was fascinating. And some more research on this is that it's helpful for the circulatory system. This astaxanthin passes the blood-brain barrier, so it can really help impact our brain in a positive way. It helps muscle strength and endurance, and it supports our immune function. So it says it's not just a pretty red color, it does something great for our health. So some of the other things that were in that list were lutein, and this one's called zeaxanthin, and lycopene. A lot of people have heard about lycopene. It comes from tomato. It's really good to have lycopene in our diet. It's great for vision, and it's also really great for prostate health. So I think that's just good overall to know that we're getting those extra doses to get what we need. But lutein and zeaxanthin, if you've never heard of these, they're really great for improving your vision as well. And so there's a lot of people that have cool testimonies that once they started taking the LifeLong Vitality Pack, their vision stopped getting worse and worse at every doctor's appointment, and a lot of people have actually gotten to go backwards in their prescription and lessen the prescription strength, which is just fascinating, okay? All right, now the third of the 3 bottles is Microplex VMZ. There's so many cool things to say about this, but I'm just going to kind of hit it on a high level. In here, we're getting our essential vitamins and our essential minerals. And my mom always likes to say, I don't call these vitamins, though, because there's so much more. These are truly supplements because they are food, and it's supplementing what we're not getting from the diet that we're eating, okay? So let's talk about these are, again, whole food, real ingredients, and it's in a glycoprotein matrix. And what that means is vitamins and minerals are presented in a food format to help you actually absorb them and use them. And I've said that like 4 or 5 times now, but again, it's not how much quantity you're putting in, but it's how you're absorbing, what you're actually absorbing and able to use. So this Microplex VMZ, the ingredients here help to fight the free radicals with different antioxidants A, C, and E. Healthy metabolism, we love that. Helps. That was something I also noticed right off the bat. I had like 9 or 10 pounds of pregnancy baby weight that I hadn't let off of my body yet, you know. And as soon as I started taking the supplements, by the end of the month, I just noticed that was gone. And I wasn't doing any extra thing in that point in time. I wasn't exercising or whatever. I was just trying to chase around my 2 kids, which was normal, right? But the metabolism, I think it just really helped to increase that. Bone health, it has really all the ingredients that you need together to help your bones absorb the calcium it needs. And it helps, has really great things in here to boost your immune function and healthy digestion, okay? And then all of these ingredients, they're in 100% natural capsules. There's no sodium lauryl sulfate, that SLS, that's really highly inflammatory and not a good ingredient. So no SLS. And so just the overarching things, when people ask me about the supplements and they don't have time for a 30-minute explanation, I will say, you know, the things that most people really notice is that they feel less pain and discomfort. It helps to boost their immune system so they're not getting sick as often. They have more energy, natural energy, and they're in a better mood. Because again, like, who wouldn't be in a better mood if all of a sudden you have more energy, you're not getting sick, you don't have aches and pains, you know? And so there are just a lot of things in here that are mood purposes. I've had so many people have really beautiful testimonies. And feel free on the comments. I'd love to hear from you watching this, whether you're watching it live or the recording, to hear your personal testimonials on how the LifeLong Vitality has impacted you. Even if it's just one sentence, or if you want to put a little, you know, 3 or 4 sentence paragraph, okay? The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that there's so much clinically supported data. They're continuing to do really great research and things that are getting published about, you know, in a clinical level of how great these supplements are. And then just to wrap this up, I want to talk about price. If you were to go to your local health food store and buy a 30-day supply of all the different things that are in here, you would be spending more than $250, okay? And from doTERRA, if you buy them in the pack together on a loyalty rewards order, you get them for $79.50. So it's a really great price. My mom was blown away by that. And for anybody out there that takes, you know, that has in the past taken good quality supplements at this caliber, you would say, oh yeah, that's crazy cheap. And with doTERRA, if you're getting them separate, if you buy these bottles individually, even at wholesale, it's something like $140 or $150. But when you buy them in the pack, it's $79.50. So doTERRA calls this their lost leader. You know, they just have found that this is foundational. It's what doTERRA preaches to, that we want everybody taking the things that they need for their body. And once you're doing that, then those oils can do a really great job of keeping us healthy. So if you are adding these to your shopping cart for the first time, or maybe if you've ignored this in the past, when you add that on there, it gives you the option to customize your shopping cart and add any of these additional supplements at a reduced price. And I love this because there are some people that like taking extra, like maybe for the kids, you know, if you have kids and you want to give them the kids version, that's the kids kit. If you like the idea of taking extra digestive enzymes, that's the TerraZyme. If you really want to add probiotics that you take regularly or sporadically, that's the PB Assist. And if you were to take if you were to buy these extras individually, they're much more expensive. But if you tack it on and you customize it with your LifeLong Vitality and tack it on for only $20 more, for example, that Mito 2 Max, which is extra of those cellular energy. If you want extra of the energy ones, which I do, I take extra 2 of those in the morning for my adrenal support. If you deal with more pain, or if you're an athlete and you know that you're putting your body through a lot of rigor, then the Deep Blue polyphenol complex, you probably want to add that. And it's typically $60 on its own, but if you tack it on to the LifeLong Vitality Pack, it's only $20. So just really great option that I want everybody to know about. So I'm excited to hear your stories and feedback and for us to share testimonials. And if you haven't yet tried these, I really just encourage you to add them to your shopping cart. Go in your back office, do an order for the LifeLong Vitality Pack, and give them a try. And remember, if you don't like them, you can send them back the empty bottles and get your money back. Hope that you learned a lot. This is our special March class that we're doing, and I can't wait to have a chance to be live with you again sometime soon. Whoops. Okay. Let's see if I'm knowing what to do here. ECam live. All right. There I am. Now I know how to finish this up. Okay, everyone, over and out. If you do have questions, feel free to put them in the post, and I will answer them as we go along. All right. Yes, someone asked if I can make this PowerPoint available, and I will. I will make this available and either load it into the files or a Dropbox link. Okay? Over and out.